this is what they're standing for. They're speaking up for these things, and it's okay to want to play baseball. It's not lame. It's not something I have to be as afraid of as I was before. So I feel like that's my role in this. I have a younger brother as well. He's 24. He also plays baseball. So I've got to lead by example. I can't just always, come up with a good answer that sounds good on TV when I get asked a question on, what do we need to do to make changes. So I'm joining up here to make sure that I take action and get educated myself. For one, so many people, I feel like in Atlanta, they're on the move. Or when you want to try to make a vote and try and cast your vote, you have to do it by mail. You have to sign up for the absentee ballot. Then you have to get another ballot in return. They have to send it back to you. Well, for me personally, they didn't send that back until it was too late, right? We didn't get it in the mail to the address that's an Atlanta address at my parents' house. We didn't get that in the mail until it was too late. And then from other friends and family that are still in Georgia right now, I just hear about them being held in lines too long and trying to get off work. And we know how it is for any family, but let alone a black family in the city or in the suburbs trying to take care of their family and trying to provide for them. You try to get off work, and then you're like, wait a minute. You start looking at the clock. It's like, oh, this is not going to happen today, right? And so I saw.
Oh my fucking god, dude. My square button not fucking working. You run push?
Hello?
Yo, what's up?
Hi.
Yo. Is this you?
Huh?
Am I in front of you?
Examples of sending you your ballot too late
Huh?
after the fact, or
Am I in
shutting
front of
down
you? I'm
the polls
jumping.
at 6 o'clock while people
Yep.
still are in line. That's a
What's
real
up?
life issue. There needs to
Hi.
be some type of change, and I think that what we're doing right now is fair. But the idea of voter suppression, do you think that that is well known, especially with
Give me a
folks,
sec. I wanna do
within the
something.
generation, your generation?
When you
I
stop
think
playing
it's
Fortnite then?
known in our communities, right? I don't think it's spoke on enough. I don't think there's been enough light drawn to it. Bring it to light. Let people hear about it. Let people
Hello?
learn about what that looks like, and get more people to say, okay,
No, I'm
this is
saying
going to
hello to
happen. We
him.
have to expect
Are
this,
you,
and we can no longer
are
make
you,
the excuse. We can't say they didn't
Hello.
warn us.
Jason, everybody knows, or it
hello?
feels as if everyone
Do I have
knows
a
that the
mic?
time is now. America's paying attention to us. We have their eyes, we have their ears. If you look toward the future, what are you most excited about in terms of seeing a change?
I'm excited about how fast the word is traveling. The word is being spread right now.
Where you
The
at?
biggest athletes, the biggest icons, biggest entertainers are doing their
Where's
part,
the
but I'm
fish
also seeing
at?
people out there on the streets doing their
He's
part.
not fish
When so
anymore,
many
is he?
things got lost, could have
No.
very easily got in the in the commotion when it came to
So
protests
you
and
don't have
you
any
saw
mic.
rioting, you saw looting. People still stood their ground, and people still went out there and said, "Look, we're doing this for the
This is
right
him right
reasons. We're going
here.
to come together. We're going to use drones. We're going to use social
Hey
media."
guys.
I feel like this is
Okay.
a new wave of
Do you have a
doing things
mic?
the
Stop.
right way and just spreading the message.
You're right about
No.
that. And you're right. People are
Uh,
spreading the word unapologetically. We out there. We
why?
doubling down. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Right.
Yeah, la la.
Hey everybody, I am so excited to welcome
Hey everybody.
friend, brother, family member, if you will, former colleague, NBA great, sports analyst, philanthropist.
Can I get a hiya?
And he's here.
His teeth
His
yellow.
time on this platform to talk about something that is so important, and that is voting. Everybody, welcome Jalen Rose to We the People. Talk to me about how important it is for the people who know you and love you and look up to you. Why is it so important that you use your platform to talk about voting?
Initially,
Guys, come here.
we
Come
have to
wiggle
get
her
past
head
the
up.
stigma
Yes,
of
brother.
the mental systemic racism that comes with the presidential race,
Can we
governors,
leave?
mayors, senators, judges.
Yeah, it's going to creative.
We've been conditioned to believe that our vote does not matter. So usually when we looked up at all of these
Wait.
races
Oh, I
and
kind of want
people
to
that
try
were
that. Press
running,
the target
not only
button
did they
to
not
zoom
look
in
like
on
us,
screens.
we didn't believe they were there to represent our best interests.
Well,
So
he
therefore,
left.
as a
So,
collective, we didn't
I did.
mobilize until Barack
did
Obama,
you not?
and we
Yeah,
felt
you
a
did.
sense of hope
I did.
that finally our
Says you
country
did.
is going to do something that we felt would
Your
never happen in
phone
our
is
lifetime.
smelling.
And I remember being at the inauguration in
If you're
2008. I
not
made
in
sure I was
there,
there. And we voted in
get
2016.
lost in the rain.
We didn't vote, Carrie. We didn't vote. And so many people try to make
If
this
you're not
political.
into
This is not
Go-Gurt
political. Me
and
telling
you
somebody
have
to
half a
vote
brain.
is like telling somebody to pay
If you're
taxes.
not in yoga. Phrase, new featured island, Jonesy says.
Yeah.
I'm loading back into Party Royale.
Really? Why?
I wanna do something. But the other guy has to leave when I leave so we can all go into creative. Dang it, he
Third
doesn't have a
thing,
mic.
especially in urban environments, oh man, it
All
creates
trail, no
barriers for us,
sweat.
Carrie. It's like you
Dang,
got to jump
he's
over the
stealing.
fence, you got to run past the dog, you got to jump on the hood
I
of the
If you're
love
car.
not
accidentally
in
readying up
Go-Gurt,
and then you unready and
You get up to
it makes you go
the
in.
pole and they don't work. Elderly
getting
people working
lost
in the
in
city,
nothing.
where they got the
I'm going
young
back to the
people who
spot. Pretty sure our teammates are. If you have, yeah, yes, if you have half a brain. Hey, Clock Crusher Motocross.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna mail in votes. And you know what you want people to realize that that counts too. So your vote will be counted if you're able to mail it in. So those are a few things that I hope that we can do and mobilize. And shout to LeBron and his team. Shout to you and everybody involved. We will make a difference.
Well, let's talk about more than a vote. There is a black collective of athletes and artists coming together and saying voter suppression is a real deal, especially in the black community. When you just talked about, I got to work, so I can't go vote. And then when we do get in the booth, just in case we don't have to work, do we know who we're voting for? Not only do we have to vote, we got to be educated. And it's not always even about the man who's in office or the woman who's in office for president. It's about your local elections. It's about the people who are your DAs, your state DAs, like the people who actually make change in your community, who will change police brutality, who will make sure that your community is taken care of, who will defund police and hope that they can help you in stopping police brutality. So talk to me about why you decided to be a part of More Than a Vote and what it actually means.
Well, it means a lot to be involved with such an impressive collective as you mentioned. And I've said this multiple times, and I know it can be uncomfortable when I say it, but a lot of times we have to get to the root of the issue before we can find a solution. And the quote was, I wish America loved black people as much as it loves black culture. And this collective, by the way, represents in a lot of ways what's encouraging, but also sometimes disappointing about our role as black people in America. Because we were brought here as labor and to entertain. And we use those vehicles to get paid and move to the suburbs and be the idols of white kids. And so now that we have this collective, I would say sports and entertainment represent the most powerful group of black men in the United States. I'm talking about money, power, celebrity, the ability to mobilize, community involvement, their leadership, their intellect. And so to have all of us pull it in the same direction at the same time for anything that we're passionate about is going to be a difference maker, but it's definitely going to be a difference maker in the 2020 vote because we're going to make sure we inform everybody that they can let their voice be heard, and failure is not an option.
Jalen, what does voter suppression look like to you?
A perfect example took place recently, Carrie, in Kentucky. It was 6 p.m. at night, and so many people were standing in line enthusiastic to vote. And you know what they did? Locked the doors. And you know what the people did? They continued to bang on the doors, continued to bang on the windows, They continued to let it be known they were not going to leave the premises until they got a chance to vote. And you know what ended up happening? They opened those doors and allowed those people to vote. So do not be discouraged. These barriers show you that it matters, and we're here to help you break through them. The same thing with our platforms and voices, Carrie, because you know what's going to happen. At some point, Breonna Taylor is not going to be trending anymore. People are not going to be protesting anymore. But it's still up to us to keep making sure that our voices get heard, and this is one way to do so.
Right, and that is a form of being activated, being an activist. It doesn't have to be protesting. It doesn't have to look like what you think traditionally activism looks like. It's voting. It's that simple.
We now have to understand, like, this is a critical mass moment for this movement to continue to hold up as much steam for as long as possible. And that's what this collection is going to hopefully allow for that situation to happen.
Jalen, in today's age of technology, it should be easier to vote.
No doubt. It's like we call these devices smartphones, but yet I can't vote from it. All of the things that we do in our lives are in our phone. All of these barriers are things that people will need to overcome in order to create a level of enthusiasm to vote. And again, this is not political. It's your right to do so. And there's so many times where you feel like somebody may have gotten done unjustly in your community. Pay attention to who the judges are, who's running for Senate, mayor, governor. Pay attention who's running for president. And let's make sure in 2020 we make a difference.
Why is more than a vote so important and invaluable in our community right now?
Well, because right now, I think we have an opportunity to let our voices be heard louder than ever. Anytime you see the mobilization of white kids holding Black Lives Matter signs, that means there's a breakthrough. Now, what happens with that breakthrough is the next step. You're going to look down in your email, Carrie. You're going to see all of these companies telling you how they're going to work on their diversity, how they're looking themselves in the mirror. They need to make change, just like in sports, right? Look on the field and on the court, all those black players. Further you get up, it's like altitude or a ladder. It gets thinner and thinner. And so a lot of people talk about the system being broken. I hate to remind people that it's not broken. It was built this way. And one of our ways to help change the system is to vote. So that's why more than a vote is so very important, so we can make sure everybody participates and gives themselves an opportunity to let their voice be heard.
I think it's interesting because you talked about Black men being very powerful in the U.S. if they're athletes and entertainers, because for so long those have been the only avenues traditionally to create wealth.